Hey, everybody. It is Tom Duff with Mental Health Matters, St. Louis Counseling. If you're curious about our services, check us out at stlouiscounseling.org. So, want to spend a little time in this solo podcast. And remember, this podcast is we want to break down stigma surrounding mental health. And the reality is, we've been talking about this forever. And are we making progress as a society? I think so, right? So, is this podcast solely responsible for that? Well, not solely responsible, but it's our partners in the nonprofit field. It's our partners that are therapists and clinicians that are making this happen. So we are proud to keep doing this podcast, and we're excited to continue to break down stigma, make mental health okay about to talk around the dinner table, the water cooler, on your Zoom session, however you live now. But the reality is this: mental health needs to be talked about, and that's what I'm going to talk a little bit today. And we just finished up Mental Health Awareness Month. May is Mental Health Awareness Month. If you check out our social media pages or our website, you see we did quite a few different little snippets of videos of a campaign where everyday people were talking about mental health and why mental health matters to them. Get it? Mental health matters to them. And the name of this podcast is Mental Health Matters. See, we tied all those things together. We've got a master plan. But the reality is, when we talk about mental health every day, and sometimes we need people that are more well known to bring the topic forefront, because we know that's where sometimes influence comes. So we're very thankful for our individuals that have committed some time to doing that, and it makes a huge difference. But as we go into this summer, right? And this is a different summer than last summer. It's a different summer than the summer before that. So it's this hybrid summer, I think, because of COVID and what COVID has done. And there's things that we have learned throughout this past year. And now we're kind of in this, I look at it as a post-vaccine COVID world. And there's things that we've learned through this past year that we want to take with us. Some people don't want to go back automatically to the way it was, because they're taking either some baggage with them from some of the turmoil or grief that they endured over this last year, or they're taking some things, some tips and techniques because they focused a little bit more on themselves, because they had to, because of, we had 6 feet social distancing orders, stay-at-home orders, quarantine. A lot of that gave us some time, and let me preface this. A lot of times we were talking about how to cope with all that, right? What are tips and techniques on how to deal with loneliness and isolation? All those things are still important. But today I want to talk a little bit about what things we liked about some of that we're going to bring with us into the future. I mean, let's be real basic, right? Masks. Some people want to keep wearing masks. That should not affect you in any way, right? That's that person's personal choice. Some people feel maybe a little more safer if they continue to wear their mask. Maybe it's because they're not vaccinated. Maybe even if you are vaccinated, you like wearing that mask. From a mental health standpoint, that makes them feel okay. Maybe I will always wear one when I go into a public restroom, because it makes me feel a little bit, I don't know, safer, cleaner in some aspects. But the reality is this: I don't need to cause a stink for someone else, pardon the pun, cause a stink for somebody else that is wearing it and judge them, belittle them. It's okay, let it go at this point. So for some people, it might be as simple as that, and the mask example is something that you can see and it's in mainstream media, right? I think the other thing what we take with us is maybe we realize we need more downtime. Maybe when your friend, your coworker, your employee doesn't want to text late into the evening or early morning, it's because they realize I need time for myself, and I'm going to take some of that time for myself, and I don't need to be on all the time. So this past year, when we have been able to spend some more time reflecting, some more time listening, some more time maybe without the distractions of everything, we realize we like that. maybe that recharges a person's batteries. So when you don't get the automatic text back from somebody or the automatic email back from somebody, maybe you should not judge that person. Maybe you should not get angry at that person or upset that person and that they're ignoring you and you're supposed to respond to me. Maybe it's because, hey, you know what? They want their time. They want to be able to just have a little chill time, either by themselves or maybe they're more focused on family. I think that's an aspect over this past year. Now, I've heard both sides, right? Oh my gosh, my kids were quarantined or my kids had virtual school. This was crazy. I'm going to pull my hair out. I've been around. I know that happened, right? But at the same time, maybe there was opportunity that people experienced where, you know what? There's nothing wrong with dictating the fact that we're going to have 2 sit-down meals a week together as a family. Whether it just be 2 individuals or maybe you got a family of 6, we're going to make sure this happens. And that reality, I think, is something that we have to recognize some value in. And because when we bring those our family members together and we create conversations, we create those memories because we slowed down other aspects of our world, such as, constantly gone at work, constantly allowing sports to take over our lives, whether it be kids sports or adult sports or being out and about. We recognized that we wanted to have that more time together because there was value to that. Now, do we all need space sometimes? Correct. We all need space. But I think these are things that hopefully as you're listening, it's waving that flag, kind of triggering you to maybe say like, oh yeah, you know what? That is something that's I'm going to be doing. For us at work, we know that virtual, so we were just dipping our toes in the water at St. Louis Counseling with the virtual side of providing counseling. And right before the pandemic hit. But now we know because we had to go 100% virtual to start. But now we're going to be a hybrid version going forward, always now with you can come to counseling in person or you can schedule through our telehealth platform as well too. Because we believe that that's a great business model and it can meet the specific person with what they need. And sometimes totally the virtual side totally gets rid of the transportation time that it takes to get to an office or an appointment. So there's all these aspects of our work worlds, our family worlds, our interpersonal worlds that we can take with us that we learned during COVID. And yes, has there been grief? Has there been turmoil? Has there been lots of conflict, either with whether you agree with certain orders or not? But the bottom line is this: we're progressing forward, right? And you got to have a growth mindset, you got to have a positive mindset, and you have to continue to walk into the future. And so what you can take with you from learning on your journey, that's part of your overall tool bag, right? Because we all have mental health. And you've heard me say this before, we all have mental health, just like we all have physical health. Some people have a mental illness, but we all have mental health. So what we have learned through this past year has been able to put more tools into our tool bag. Don't forget about those tools. They're new, they're shiny still, but we still have the old ones in there as well too, with what helps us get through our daily stressors. So remember this, we are here to help you. At St. Louis Counseling. Feel free to reach out anytime, stlouiscounseling.org. Remember that you are not alone on your journey. There's commonality if you just start a conversation with people. By starting a conversation with somebody else, you're able to find commonality. And it doesn't have to be about heavy subjects. It can just be about your daily life. And all of that equals the fact that you're not alone. And we can get through this and we can get through anything together from that aspect. So, yeah, I'm feeling positive today. I'm very cheery today. You can call me Pollyanna. I don't care. But the reality is this, we're entering summer. The sunshine is out. Experience it. Feel good about it. And remember, mental health matters.